Greetings to all on the other side of the screen. I am the Overly Positive Fanboy, and this is Overly Positive Vlogs, the show where I give my unfiltered thoughts on the latest TV. And after 2 episodes of fairly inconsequential adventures, we're finally back into more serious stuff with the Bad Batch, and I definitely enjoyed what they did this time. So, this episode sees the Bad Batch encounter a young Wookiee child in need of rescuing from smugglers. However, this isn't just an ordinary Wookiee child. It's Gungi, a Jedi in training who somehow managed to survive the Great Purge. I gotta say, while the Youngling arc isn't my favourite one in the entirety of the Clone Wars, it is still nice to see that at least some of the kids from that survived. Whether anyone else did or if it's just Gungi still remains to be seen, but yeah, it's nice to see at least we got some kids made it out. So, this entails a trip to Kashyyyk, which I found interesting on a couple fronts. The first of which being that this is probably Gungi's first time being on his home world, considering what the Jedi are usually like when it comes to recruiting people. And of course it's also interesting because that technically makes this episode a sequel, because back in the Clone Wars' original run, there was a planned storyline where Yoda and the Bad Batch would have gone to Kashyyyk. Apparently the idea was that this would be the origin for Yoda's good relations with the Wookiees. So yeah, we don't know a lot of details about that story, but it's obviously still canon because there's a line in this episode where Wrecker says that it's been a long time since we've been to Kashyyyk, eh? And I like that. It's also nice to see getting in touch with the Wookiee's spiritual side again, including that particular thing where they meditate with a tree that's communing with it, and the tree seems to respond. I gotta say, I couldn't help thinking of certain blue aliens when that was happening. You know which ones I mean. I'm not talking about Pantorans. But yeah, the main conflict of the episode are these Trandoshan hunters who are ravaging the environment and enslaving Wookiees and destroying villages and all that stuff. And they're also doing it on behalf of the Empire, because it looks like the Imperials are outsourcing their dirty work to these guys, and there's a few clone soldiers here and about overseeing things. So yeah, obviously there's a lot of fighting with them and meeting some fellow Wookiees, and one very nice touch with these spidery things that show up a few times. And yeah, I know they're not the same species, but when I first saw those I couldn't help get some traumatic flashbacks to Jedi Fallen Order. But yeah, ultimately the day is saved, and this is a pretty fun episode to watch, all things considering. I especially liked the dynamic between Omega and Gungi that forms over the episode. And of course, the fact that Gungi is obviously very hesitant to work with the Bad Batch at first for more than obvious reasons. But yeah, despite that, he and Gungi form a little bond. And the episode ends with Omega doing the tree meditation thing. And I quite like that. Also, there's this nice little moment with Echo where he seems a bit put off by Wookiee cuisine, only to then later on give it a go at the end of the episode and be like, actually, that's not bad. Not a major character study or anything, but still a pretty cute moment, all things considered. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this episode. What will come next week, we have no idea. Will it be another light-hearted adventure, or will we end up with another more serious point? After all, episode 7 in season 1 was when things kicked off in a major way last time, so who knows? But either way, I think that'll be all for now. And remember, it can be a harsh world out there, so why don't we try and make things a bit more positive, shall we?